Welcome to Richmond Speech Therapy Speech Talk videos. Today I'm going to talk you through how to find the right speech and language therapist for you. I'll talk you through qualifications, safety, expertise and experience, as well as cost and accessibility so that you can find the right therapist for you. So let's start with the basics. If nothing else, you want to make sure that you find for yourself a therapist who's actually qualified to do what they say they can do. So you're looking for somebody who has an accredited speech and language therapy, either undergraduate degree or postgraduate diploma or master's. Now, a surefire way to make sure that they've actually got those qualifications is to look them up on the Royal College of Speech and Language Therapists or the Healthcare Professions Council. And you can do that by looking at their websites. So that's the RCSLT website and the HCPC website. But if that all sounds a little bit too faffy, then there's an easier way, because there is a website where you can find all that information in one go, and that is the www.asltip.com website, which is the website of independent speech and language therapists, and that just has a list of all the therapists. If you're looking for more information on the logistics of how to find a therapist in the first place, then do go to my earlier video. Next, let's talk safety. Now, you definitely want to make sure that the person you're employing is safe to work with either you or your child, particularly if they're working alone with you. So do make sure they have a DBS check. You can just ask them to view that maybe in your first session. So great, now you've found a safe and qualified therapist. Now you want to make sure that they're the right therapist for you. Let's talk expertise. Now, what you need to know is that when a speech and language therapist qualifies, they're qualified to work with babies all the way through to the elderly, okay? They're also qualified to work in all different types of difficulty. So they're qualified to work in aphasia and stroke, autism, learning difficulties, stammering, all of it, and so much more. And the truth is, nobody can really be an expert in all those areas. So make sure that you find somebody with expertise in the particular area of concern for you. As you can understand, working with a toddler requires very different skills to working with, say, a teenager or adult. And you'll be able to get an idea of their area of expertise just by talking to that therapist, going on their website, and asking them questions about the area of difficulty, and also finding out for them, well, how many other patients have you seen with this type of difficulty? You'll get a feel for it. Another thing to consider is how much experience does that person have? Have they just qualified, or have they been practicing for 40 years? Obviously, there are benefits that go with both. The newly qualified is going to have a lot of new research up their sleeve. A person who has been qualified for many, many years is going to have a wealth of experience, different therapy types that they've tried and tested, different problems they've had to solve through therapy. You need to work out for yourself what you're looking for. Okay, so now let's get to the nitty-gritty of cost. Obviously, this is going to be a factor when you're trying to work out which therapist to go for. Different therapists will charge different rates, but what I would say is make sure that you're comparing like for like. So the cost of a session, does that include travel expenses, or is that additional? An assessment session, does that include a written report as well, or do you have to pay extra for that too? These are the sorts of things you want to be weighing up. But also a word of warning, don't just compare prices at face value. Remember that if you find the right therapist for your particular difficulty, it's likely that you'll spend less money overall, because the therapy they provide is more likely to be more effective, therefore it's not going to take as long to get there, and it's actually going to need less sessions. So do bear that in mind as well, the importance of finding the right therapist. Finally, accessibility. When all is said and done, you need to find a therapist that is available at the right time for you, at the right place for you. So early on in your conversations, find out, where do they do sessions? Some will do them in clinic, others in care homes, in your home itself, or in the child's school or nursery. Where do you want the session to happen? And when do you want it to happen? Do they do daytime sessions, evening sessions, weekend sessions? And when is their next available slot? That's what you want to know. So be clear on what you're looking for, and are you able to be flexible on some of those things? So having said all that, if you find that there isn't actually an experienced therapist in your area who works on the particular difficulty that you are concerned about, then why not consider online therapy services? So some, but not all therapists are now able to offer some online therapy options whereby they're able to carry out the therapy via a video conferencing system. So do bear that in mind, and if you do want to find out more about what that entails, then click on my next video about how teletherapy works. So there you go. You now have all the information you need to find exactly the right therapist for you, who is qualified and safe to work with you, who has the experience and expertise that you need at the right cost and location for you. I'm Alison at Richmond Speech Therapy, and I wish you all the best in finding the right therapist for you.